to the pods are against us, taking on every podcast topic, one episode at a time. Become one of the pod people and follow and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, and Podcast Addict. On to the show.
All right, welcome to the pods are against us, and this time another football show. Not quite to the Super Bowl yet. We're on the road to it, so we're going to take a week in between till we get there. We're going to do today the final end of the season, final rankings of all 32 teams, power rankings, if you will. And joining me to do that, compiling all this craziness, is the man himself, the nowhere man, the QB1. He is Sweet Lou.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us today. No confidence picks, so we're not even going to go over them from last week and our Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, we're gonna save all the recaps of Sunday and all that for the Super Bowl show. We've got a big Super Bowl show coming up. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But we're just looking at a ranks of all the teams from this year, kind of where they started. I think is what you said, kind of where they started and where they ended, sort of thing, and our thoughts on that as well. I'm gonna give you my rankings. Is what we got. The real rankings here, people.
That's sure.
He's like, sure.
Like Kenny's saying there, we're doing the preseason rankings. These are the rankings that I kind of used when I did my confidence picks this year. And what I did was, because I've been out of the thing for 10 seasons, so I just wanted to do my research in a way. And what best way to do that than to just go over the rankings? So I didn't just pick one or two sources. I kind of felt like three was a good number. Three is a good number for me. So I felt like I went to three different sources, and the three different sources, I saw where they were similar. That was easy. And this was before Kenny told me about this show, so I kind of just bounced the ideas off my cousin Tommy over the phone. And for example, if in preseason they had a certain team first or last, I would tell him, like, between these three, which one do you think would be first? Or, I knew he was neutral. I knew he was giving me the right rankings because he's a Packer fan. And if I'm not mistaken, he left his Packer team he left them at 9. So that's how I knew that he was being genuine,
It's fairly generous, but I'll get to that later.
For sure. So I think we decided to start from 32, right? And then work our way down.
That is correct. We'll start at the bottom and work our way to the number one. Number one.
Okay.
But first, 32, the bottom of the barrel. The worst team of the year.
Yeah. So originally, the preseason rankings had the Browns there. No surprise, right?
Yeah.
But, so lo and behold here, the one that ended up being last here is, and just starting it off there, it's going to be, bam, the Cardinals. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, man.
No.
They are 32. They only won 3 games, 3-14. And there were 3 other teams that had the same record. But let me explain. Going into the thing, out of the other 3 teams, they were listed to end up, they were listed higher, way higher. In the preseason rankings, the Cardinals were listed at 14. Yeah. So, yeah, 14 out of 32. That's how I did it, by the way. That's how if there was there's a 4-way tie here with the record.
Yes.
So what I did was I went to see, well, where were they listed at preseason and who had the highest drop? I felt like that was fair,
Yeah, but there's an obvious answer from that. That's not the Cardinals.
Yeah, no, I had the Cardinals were listed at 14. and they ended up at 3-14. So I put them at 32.
Interesting.
Yeah, what did you have at 32?
The obvious answer, the team picking first, the fucking Raiders. They spent over $100 million on free agency and ended up getting first in the draft. They're the obvious worst team of the year. Yeah,
Yeah,
they gave goofball $100 million. The coaches, everybody's fired, everybody's out the building.
yeah.
That's what
Pete
I'm saying.
Carroll.
They were going into this. They had a lot more hope for the Raiders, I think, than they did for the fucking Cardinals.
Yeah,
I think the drop off for them would have been way farther. To your credit, I guess, according to like looking at Score Mobile or whatever, they are like the second to last. So I see, I guess, where y'all are coming from, but no way. Raiders again, they're picking first in the draft. That's all you need to know. They're the worst team of the year.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, no, definitely. I felt like that was a lot more record wise and everything. Like I get how that happened, but for me, the Raiders they were one of the four teams that ended up 3-14.
Yes.
But for me, I picked the Cardinals at 32 because
Wow.
originally they were listed to be at 14.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you, that's with Kyler Murray healthy, right?
Yes.
Of course. And then
Which didn't happen. So for like
yeah, and
most
then
of the season. So
right. And then my cousin kept saying that they drafted a bunch of good defensemen, an offensive lineman.
yes. I do remember
Um,
going in. We were talking about, I was talking about how there was a little bit of hype for him, maybe being really good this year, and all that, but it
yeah,
fell apart very quickly.
yeah,
But I wouldn't
they,
call them the 32nd team. There's no
yeah.
way.
What did you had the Raiders at 32?
Yes,
Okay,
far and away.
awesome. Gotcha. Yeah, that's the only reason why I put them at 32. Um, coming in at 31.
Also, by the
Uh,
way, while he gets to that, most people go through this via YouTube, so that's the way to go because Lou has a bunch of great pictures and stuff for all this, some great slides here for all the logos and such. So by all means, watch the YouTube version. Good stuff. Look at the Cardinals one there; it's great. We'll have some good
uh,
art for this and stuff. Nobody listens to an audio version, but if you do, check out the YouTube version for this one. Probably
thanks, Ken.
put a lot of work into
So
this when you did, Lou. I will be destroying your list, but good job on compiling all this.
thanks, man. My
As I yell
next
about
one,
it from here on out.
my next one at 31. Originally, they actually had uh, at 31 on the rankings. They actually had the they had the Saints there.
Oh no.
And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, okay,
yeah,
that's preseason. Fair enough. Yeah.
yeah. That's preseason. That's
Right,
not
right,
where
right.
I have them at all.
Right. Yeah,
They're
preseason
actually
going in.
very
Yeah, we would be
they're
afraid of that.
actually very surprising. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they had a lot of
that's
fight
where
going.
they had them as preseason.
Yep.
But my actual 31 we kind of already talked about. You know,
Yeah.
my actual 31, like you said, they got first round pick.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Pete Carroll and them. This is the traditional logo there, the classic, right? Oakland.
Yep. Classic.
Yeah, they came out at 31 for me,
That's fair.
which is during in the preseason I had them at 20. A lot of people, I'm guessing Pete Carroll, and I doubt it was Geno Smith. I honestly missed that part where Geno Smith was their quarterback. That probably would have made him go down further for me, but I think everybody, yeah, I think everybody got excited about Pete Carroll and the
Yeah.
rest of the team,
Yeah.
because they were listed at 20. Man, that's 12
I'm
teams.
surprised they were listed that low in the preseason because they were getting a ton of hype.
Yeah, as they always do. The Raiders Nation, man, they are intense. But what did you have at 31?
My 31 is the obvious, always bottom feeding dweller seller people, the Jets. Duh. Greatest stat of all time, 0 interceptions all year. Like, you should get an interception on fucking accident somehow. 0 interceptions for the entire year. Easily the second worst team by a lot. The Raiders, I only put the Raiders as dead last because, again, they're getting the number 1 pick and just by how much money they spent to be so disappointing, they deserve to be last. But the Jets are the Jets. And oh my God, I just historically awful. So the obvious 31 from there is the Jets.
For sure. All right. It's like you're a pick ahead of me, man. It's crazy. Um, at 30,
Because I'm right.
yeah, at 30, the preseason rankings, they actually had these guys here at 30.
Yep.
The Tennessee Tits.
Tennessee Titans.
Again, I want to thank Kenny for that nickname. He's the one who gave me that this season.
Yep, the Tits, yep.
Man, I knew they weren't that great. They weren't that great 10 years ago when I was watching. I mean, they had, Derrick Henry and Marcus Mariota at the time. And then I think Chris Johnson was just leaving.
That's the thing, dude. There's a time you missed here a couple of years ago. They were fucking solid. Like, they went from 1 year being in the playoffs and making a pretty decent run to the next year winning like 3 games. Like, while in the middle of that great run, like, they fired like a GM or somebody really important and everything, and they went straight downhill and never came back. It is weird. I've never seen a team that should be so great be so bad. I don't understand the Titans thing at all. They're the most confusing front office I've ever seen.
Yeah, because I remember my old security boss from the 2013 to 2015. I worked security at a mall, and he was a huge Tennessee Titans fan.
They were great.
His old man used to take him to the games when he was a kid, and like you just said, they were solid at the time.
Yeah, they were a step or two away from the Super Bowl, and then like out of nowhere, they haven't won more than 3 or 4 games a year, and it's like, what happened over there?
Yeah, and I remember you early on talking about
so
how
bizarre.
When they did the coaching change, the head coach stepped down, and
yeah,
they tried everything to win this year, but unfortunately, they are not. Number 30. Number 30, they were listed at 30 going into the preseason, so they did a little better than that, a little bit. The actual number 30 is going to be, as you said it,
okay.
The New York Jets. And these are not Joe Namath's Jets, right?
Yeah, no.
They had Josh Fields over there.
Yeah, Josh Fields sucks. I don't know what they thought that was going to be a good idea for. He's awful.
I still remember when the Bears thought he was something.
Yeah, he sucked there too.
Man, it's like they started off the season trying, and then somewhere along the way just sold everything off.
Yeah,
I did notice that.
Yeah, I saw Fields struggle with the Bears and then go to the Jets. I'm like, well, that's not going to get any better. They think that's a good idea or something?
And the crazy thing about the Jets is they were listed at 27 in the ranking.
No way.
Yeah, they ended up at 30. So not as big a drop. See, this is why the Raiders and the Cardinals were listed ahead of them. And I'm saying that because they were part of that 4-way tie for the bottom 4.
Yeah.
What did you have at 30, Ken?
My 30 actually would have agreed with the preseason. I have the Titans there because I already had the Jets lower. I have the Titans at 30, which is correct.
I'm right behind you.
I said I don't understand what's up with the front office there. I don't get it. The Jets to me were worse, but because I think, and this is where I shouldn't be factoring this in anyway, I guess, but I feel like with the Jets, they just don't have anywhere to go. I feel like the Titans, they got a new coach. They got a young quarterback they could probably work with. And if not, they got to get moving. But I feel like there's at least some future, maybe. But the Jets are just always hopeless until I see something different. I don't know. I'll put the Titans at 30.
Okay.
Sorry about that, fellow Jets fan in the house. Flipping me off right now. Wife's a Jets fan and not happy with that pick, but it's okay.
That's funny. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm like right behind you with stuff. Because coming in at number 29 I have the Tennessee Titans
Yeah. What was the
at
preseason
29.
29? You didn't know.
Yeah, and they were in the preseason. They were listed 30.
What's
So
the preseason 29?
the preseason 29 is actually a fun one. One of my favorite teams this year. I don't want to spoil it yet.
Okay, okay, my bad. Sorry, I jumped your stuff.
Um,
Go ahead, continue.
you know what? Actually, uh, I could tell you. It's all right.
I didn't mean to
Uh,
jump your thing there. I didn't know. I
no,
thought you
not at all,
forgot.
not at all. They were actually one of the surprising teams. They had a huge jump, uh, thanks to Indiana Jones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had the Colts at 29.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
they
well,
I
they
guess
outperformed
Jonathan
that really
Taylor.
well.
They did. They didn't. If Indy would have stayed healthy, I think they.
Yeah.
I'll talk more about them later
Yeah.
because right now we talked about the Tennessee Tits there a little bit more. But what can we say? They the one thing they're at the top of my bottom four, and the reason for that is it's not much saying they were supposed to end up 30, but they ended up 29. Um, and that's because the Cardinals, the Raiders, and the Jets, I have them all listed ahead of them because they were all listed to finish off better, in the preseason rankings.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not the case. If anything, the Tennessee Titans kind of said, "Hey, we're about accurate to what everybody predicted. We'll do you one better."
Yeah.
They went from 30 to 29.
Interesting.
What's your 29, Ken?
29 is where I had the Cardinals, which may be a little high, but this bottom feeding is just so bad. I didn't really know what to do
Yeah.
with it. I had them on the top of the bottom, I guess, in a way,
Okay.
because there was times where they looked pretty solid, especially compared to the Titans, Jets, or Raiders. But that's where I put the Cards. I put the Cards
Nice.
at 29.
So, although we differ on those bottom four, they are the exact.
It's the
It's the
bottom
same
four.
team.
Yes, it's the bottom four.
Yeah, it's funny though. We just moved them
Yes.
up slightly for whatever reason that we
Yeah,
stated.
yeah. We rearranged some chairs on the Titanic there for sure.
Yeah. So that's our bottom four there.
Yeah.
We're gonna head into 28. 28. Originally in the preseason. This was another fun one. This is probably the funnest one because of where they ended up. And I mean, Kenny and I had the funnest time with these guys. I kept saying it all season. These guys were dangerous at home, man. Oh my God. The
Wow. The
Panthers,
Panthers,
they,
man.
dude, spoiler alert for the rest of the show. They were preseason ranked 28. They did not finish there, man.
And now you see why I was so reluctant to kind of buy into him the whole year too, though, where it's like because I was expecting the same thing. I'm like, when you see him kind of win a couple, it's like, yeah, but it's the fucking Panthers.
Yep.
You
No,
know?
every time you said that, I couldn't agree with you more. And then they just kept winning games at
But
home.
they did the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you talk about a home team, they just when you played them at home, they beat some pretty good teams at home if you go back and look. It's crazy. And then somewhere along, I think midway through the season, we found out that Andy Dalton was the backup. And I was like, Andy
Yeah.
Dalton?
Yeah, no kidding. There's a
Andy
name I have
Dalton?
not heard in quite some time.
Man, I still remember the days when Andy Dalton and AJ Green were lighting it
He
up,
was
dude.
so good for a minute there, man.
Yeah, that's
He
crazy.
was so good for a minute there.
Um, no, definitely. But the actual 28
Yeah.
is going to be the actual 28, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
is your New York Giants. Oh boy.
I agree.
Eli
That's my 28 as
Eli's
well,
been
by the
gone
way.
for a few years now.
Yeah.
Michael St. Pierre Paul's gone too, right?
Yeah.
MSP. Oh man, they have fallen. Because remember, I haven't seen some 10 seasons, man. 10 seasons ago, you started seeing the fall, but
Yeah.
man, I never thought they would be 28.
Yeah, they were bad, man. They, like I said, that's my 28 also, by the way. Correct.
Really?
Yes, correct.
Sweet. Okay. Dart made things exciting for them though. That kid's something.
There's a future there for sure. Like they got Harbaugh now, like we know. They got quite a future going for them. Like they'll be picking at the top of the draft, so they should get something good out of that. I don't expect them to see them this low next year. That's for sure.
Yes. Well, another spoiler. When Kenny and I finish up our list here, we were both going to predict who we think is going to be going to the bottom from the
Oh,
top,
I forgot about
and
that.
who's going to be going to the top from the bottom. And I
Correct.
would say these guys might be on my list
That's
going
an
from the
easy
bottom.
pick. It's an easy pick for that for sure. That's the one
Yeah.
everybody's going to go with.
Oh yeah, and I thought about it, so that's funny. Coming up next is number 27. Oh, I've been telling Kenny all season this one. Sorry, buddy. Oh shoot, I told them all season they were not listed there at all, dude. It's the Commanders.
Yeah.
They are the real number 27. That was not the case. They were top 10 in preseason rankings. The actual 27, actually, we already did. The preseason rankings had these guys at 27. They did a lot worse than 27. So
Right. Yeah, that's being very
it
generous. Yeah.
does.
Right.
Yeah. But what did you have at 27, Ken?
I'm gonna spoil it now because I had another team before the Commanders, but I could almost agree with the Commanders being in this spot for sure. It's kind of a toss up between them and this next one.
Mm-hmm.
Tough for me. I'm going to stick with what I got, I think, in a way. My 27 is going to be the Browns because it was just a disaster. Coaches versus owners over quarterbacks and stuff. The whole Shador Sanders thing is a mess. I don't think their future is as bright as the Commanders is, so I think that's kind of why I lean it the way it is. The Browns are still going to be the Browns, and the Commanders I don't think will be this low next year either. I don't think they'll be top 10 yet again either, but they won't be this low. So I'm still going to keep the Browns lower because they're the Browns. They do have a great defense. They got Myles Garrett, and that's good. They got a new coach coming in. But in the end of the day, they're the Browns. None of that matters. They never get any better. So yeah, I'm gonna keep the Browns at 27.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. No, then with you doing that one, that literally segues. Well, Kenny already said everything there. You know, as a Commanders fan, I wanted him to take charge of this one as much as possible. But as he stated, they were a solid team, listed at 7, and injuries, man, injuries, and
Yeah, that
you know,
team just completely quit. They completely gave up, all of them.
this
Yeah,
is the
coming
first.
into it, they were the oldest team in the NFL as well. You see how that works out for you.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, just it all failed. Everything went wrong. Lost the offensive coordinator along the way, Kingsbury. Um, yeah, what a mess. But
The one
again,
thing.
we'll be picking at the top of the draft, and I think they come back next year. I don't think we're one step away from the Super Bowl like we were, but I think they'll be better for sure. I am worried
Definitely.
about Jaden Daniels, but you know,
The one thing I could say is
I'll tell you this now. Keep it going this way. They're going to be my
yeah.
number 26, so they're right
Okay.
behind this pick. So I'll just go into it that way to keep it flowing that way. I am. I'm not sure Jaden Daniels is it. I'm not sure, and he wasn't to begin with. And spoiler alert, I wish we'd have done a show back then because I didn't. But going into that draft, I wanted Drake May. That's who I wanted.
And he's in the Super Bowl.
That's who I fucking wanted. I was like, dude, I want the Drake May. I want a fucking quarterback. I don't want RG3 number 2. And they're gonna say, no, he's not. Oh yeah. He's a small guy that runs way too much, that's getting killed. 4 times in one season, he got hurt. You know, that's not something you can turn around. I don't know. I don't like it. We're gonna be looking for a quarterback in 5 years. I guarantee it. Maybe less. So there's that. But
Yeah.
anyway, I wanted Drake May. That's all I wanted to say.
And he's in the Super Bowl, so
he's
you
in
have
the
every
Super Bowl.
right, man. That's not a bad
Now, time
desire
will
at all.
tell down the line. 10 years from now, we'll see if that stays that way. But right now, I'm looking pretty fucking correct.
Yeah, I would say so. Kid's in the Super Bowl.
But going
Uh,
into it, Jaden Daniels was the top prospect, and Drake May was this unfinished. They weren't sure. He was kind of like a fourth or fifth number type guy, and they weren't really sure about him. And then I'm like, fuck that shit, dude. He's a quarterback. He's better, dude. Just get him. He'll be fine. But no, we can't do that. We can't pass up on something like Jaden Daniels. Oh my God.
yeah, man. RG3 number 2. You said it best.
It is.
To give you a little bit of cheering up there, they may be the first top 10 team on the bottom 10 here,
Yeah.
but they're not the only one, and they aren't the highest drop either.
Yeah.
So that's a little consolation. So the Kenny Ray went through his 26 there. So let me hit you guys up with my 26.
Yeah, go ahead.
My 26 here is gonna be the Browns.
Okay.
And the reason, again, it's same
So
thing.
yeah.
Yes, and the reason for that is the drop and the game. Because originally the Browns were 32. What are they doing in 26?
Yeah.
I couldn't give the Commanders the higher spot because they were 7th, man. They were ranked 7th.
Right.
Anybody,
right.
They really let you as a fan down. I'm like, yeah, no, dude, you're going 27.
Yeah,
The
fine.
Browns took 26. That's not that much better. Still in the bottom 10.
My only argument to that is, when we do this next year, if we do, the Commanders won't be there and the Browns will. That's my point.
I was just gonna say that. The Browns are always
they'll still be here next time.
How bad? Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know. How bad can they finish, right? They did 26. Originally 26 was actually, the 26th team in the preseason rankings. And this is, I guess, they had no faith in Unk Slot 1. It's the Steelers.
Wow, really?
Yeah. They didn't think an aging Aaron Rodgers was going to make that much. Yeah.
I could see it. I think a lot of people were worried he was just going to get hurt, go down, and they were going to be screwed. That's what I think the consensus was.
And he almost did with that hand.
And he almost did.
He let them finish 10-7, giving Tomlin another winning season, right? So,
way better than I expected him to be.
Yep.
We'll get to that later. More on that later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that is our 26, and that preseason 26. The actual 26 is those fun-loving, the lovable losers at this point, the Browns.
Yeah.
I like that logo.
Yeah, I love that one. It's good.
Yep. And then here, coming in at 25. You're probably going to disagree with me on this one because I know how much you like them too, but I'm sorry, man. They also have the biggest drop.
Yes.
In all of football. The Chiefs. I think they were too busy worried about Swift and Kelsey. And then those injuries just came up with Mahomes. And don't get me wrong, okay? I mean, I dislike them and everything, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding, as Kenny states every week. They've been in the finals so many times. They've won so many championships.
It's going to happen eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, zebras or no zebras.
Nope. Yeah.
10 years ago, when I was watching, you guys probably remember Kyle Orton, was it Matt Castle? Mm-hmm. Yeah, or Hasselbeck. Those were the quarterbacks that I remember them having during that time. And
yeah, they Chiefs? Were still. I guess Castle.
Yeah, it was, I think, right? Matt Castle?
Hasselbeck was the Seahawks.
Yeah. So Matt Castle. And I remember the Kyle Orton over there.
Probably. Wow.
Yeah.
I only remember Orton with the Bears.
Yeah, no, after he left the Bears, he went to the Chiefs.
Okay.
And yeah, this is all before Mahomes, but man, this team built up, and even when I stopped watching because of them winning over and over again, and I wasn't doing fantasy football anymore, I watched them beat my Niners twice
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl. I was glad to say that the Eagles, and I'm glad that they finished at this spot. Um, yeah,
Absolutely.
they were ranked at number three
Yeah.
in the preseason. So I know Kenny's happy to see that. Hey, my Commanders blew it, but not this much.
Yeah, well,
Woo.
that this is my number 25 as well. When I looked at this
Really?
kind of when I look oh yeah, when I looked at this kind of to kind of counter argument my other argument that, this they won't be this low next year type of thing, and that's fair. But I kind of penalized the Chiefs a little bit for being this low, a lot more than us, because we were kind of fluky being at the top next year, last year. But the Chiefs do this, bruh. You got a Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame tight end. You guys win it every single time. What's the excuse? Like, nobody was really that hurt. Mahomes was there. He didn't get hurt till the very end. I mean, if Mahomes had got hurt on week 3 and this happened, fine. But what's the fucking excuse? Like, we had an excuse. Half of our team got hurt. What's the Chiefs' excuse for ending up 6-11 at 25? The fuck happened? Bad O line? That's all I've ever heard anyone say. I'm like, so what? I don't know. I don't understand how they ended up this low. It's insane to me.
Man.
But so yeah, I penalized them a little bit for that. I have them at 25 as well.
So the crazy thing about them, at 25, we saw how they looked,
Fantastic logo for the
vintage,
audio people. Check this out on YouTube. Great,
vintage.
good
Um,
stuff.
Well, they went to the Super Bowl last year, and then just, this was after everybody was again complaining about the zebras, and they finally caught them in the act, and they called them out. And you would think they would have showed up to prove them wrong, but
Yeah,
if anything, I felt like they proved people right. Like you got
in
called
a
out,
way.
and then you don't show up at the
Uh,
Super Bowl. Like,
I like
dude, what?
I like trolling y'all and fucking with y'all about the Chiefs. I fucking hate the Chiefs. I didn't watch the Super Bowl last year. The playoffs were about to start. The playoffs were about to start, and I remember telling my wife, I was like, but when it was about to start, I'm like, this is going to end with the Chiefs and Eagles Super Bowl, and when that happens, I'm not watching it. And we didn't. So yeah, I'm not
Oh,
watching this shit either. But it is great to see him fall finally. But I don't know. And the flopping. That's the one thing I hate the most is was watching a motherfucker flop, man. Oh, fuck that shit. That don't start turning this into the NBA. Kelsey and Mahomes both, man. Somebody gets near him and they're trying to get a flag. Fuck all the way off with that faggot ass shit. Get out of here. I hate it. Sorry. No, I hate it.
oh
Can't
man,
stand it. Get it
dude.
out of here. Don't even start that shit.
And then what about the conspiracy theories on, well, the zebras stopped going for them
Yeah,
because
I
the
started
league,
that.
yeah,
Well, I
you were
mean,
telling me the league was mad that Taylor Swift didn't do the halftime show,
who said
and
that?
Kelsey,
I was listening to a crazy podcast when they were saying that, and I was like, I'm gonna run with that. That's amazing.
and then Kelsey, I guess, made the president mad because he asked them to stop taping, stop showing Swift at the game, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Good stuff. So
that's,
yeah, I don't know what happened with all that, but they did not get the
I
calls
mean, that
this
makes
year.
more sense than, like you just said, them completely falling off like they did,
It's
right?
weird. It's weird. But then again, if you look at the history, man, Super Bowl hangovers are real. Sometimes it just happens, man. You're tired, bro. To do what
True.
they've done this long is amazing. I don't want to take that away from either. You can say the refs and shit all you want, but they've had an
Yeah.
insane run, dude. To do what they've
Yeah.
done in their 9 years or whatever it's been, like Patrick Mahomes is the first time missing an AFC championship game. And the
Yeah.
shit sits at me.
No,
I don't want to take too much away from that. They're absolutely amazing team. And I will, as much as I want to, I hate and all that stuff too. I'm not going to take away from what they've done. And eventually you're going to crash someday. So it happened. But
definitely.
I penalized them quite hard for it, and I put them at 25.
So same. I had him at 25.
Yeah.
Preseason rankings actually had these guys at 25.
Okay.
They're another. They were one of the most annoying teams. I have more to say on them later,
Boy, are they.
but that was where I had them at 25.
Yeah.
Next, we're going into 24.
Yep.
24 is another drop. It is. We call, and honestly, this one is just the injuries again. Honestly, I mean, he tried on the way back, but it is Joe Soros and the Bengals
What a
at 24.
roller coaster over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Bengals, yeah, the Bengals. Okay, that's fair.
What do you have at 24?
My 24 is probably a little low. I'm sure we'll be somewhere in the ballpark, though. I put the Dolphins at 24. They got hot at the end, but I just felt like they were garbage all year. I would have fired their coach week 4.
Hmm.
Tua sucks. Their future's trash. I don't see anything good coming out of the Dolphins anytime soon. Again, the Bengals are another one of those teams. It got bad this year, but I'm sure they'll pick it up next year. Although, with that owner, that owner's something. He's not helping things. But overall, looking at teams as teams and what I see, how I hold the team up, I would put the Dolphins way lower for sure.
So you know what's funny is you actually took away with that pick there. The preseason rankings agreed with you.
Yeah.
That's where they had. That is actually where they had the the Dolphins listed as well.
Yeah.
So that's crazy that you guys were so close on that.
Yeah. I think I've nailed 2 with the preseason so far. And I've nailed 2 with you.
Definitely, definitely. So that's the logo I'm using for that. They were listed at 24. They finished a little higher than that, you know. But yeah, no, I put the Bengals here.
Yeah.
It's actually a three-way tie for this one between KC, the Bengals, and the next one that I have at 23. Um, so that was our 22, right? Our 24. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I took I have the Bengals from the pre from finishing there, and the preseason actually had Miami. Kenny actually picked Miami and agreed with the preseason.
Yep.
So coming in at 23, these guys, we mentioned them before. And again, I did it because I felt like it was fair. They were told that they were going to be worse than this. So I felt like, what the hell? They deserve to get the 23rd spot. If it's on a three-way tie, I wasn't giving it to KC, and I'm not going to give it to Cincy. When you
Correct.
ranked at number 3 and number 11,
Yep.
yeah,
Correct. My number 23 as well, Saints. Got really hot at the end. I will warn the world and the Saints. I don't think that little Tyler Shook guy is the answer. I really don't. They seem to think he is. I think they got a rude awakening next year. We might see him pretty low again. Because I don't think that's the way to go, but they seem to think so. I feel like that's a mistake. But they did get hot at the end there. Got to give them that. Maybe they will have to find something and put something together. I don't know. But I got the Saints at 23 also. They had a lot of fight, got
Kamara
a lot of heart. I tell you that much.
Kamara's still getting it done for them when he can, right?
Yeah, but I don't know
Alvin
how much
Kamara.
longer he got of that.
I was just gonna ask you
They're
how many
gonna
seasons do you
they're
think he
gonna have
has
to
left?
find another one of those pretty soon.
Yeah. They probably have a higher draft pick too, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know, but probably somewhere down here.
For sure. Yeah, so that was my 23, the New
Agreed.
Orleans Saints. They were listed at 31. The actual preseason ranking 23, we already talked about them. Preseason actually had the Giants being a
Hmm,
little better and finishing here.
interesting.
Um, yeah, they did a little worse than that. Dart
Yeah,
looked good, like we said, but yeah, the New Orleans Saints rose up from 31 all the way to 23 and took it for there. Me and Kenny agreed on that one. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Agreed.
Coming in at 22. Kenny already mentioned them too, so I'm just going to touch base on them again here on my end. I put them at 22. Like he said, they had a hot finish, and that hot finish was enough to get them to 22. And that team, unfortunately, like Kenny said, has to
It's
find a new
fine.
coach. The
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
It's the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's fine.
Hot Tua. We had some fun with that name all season.
That was very good. I thought of
Thank
that
you
out of
again,
nowhere.
Kenny, for that one.
Yeah.
Kenny's original works.
It's good stuff.
Um, the the original. So wait, before I go into the preseason 22, what do you have at 22, Ken?
22 is where I put the Bengals. Just because I felt they had
Okay.
a bad season just because of injury. I think they'll be back, but again, that owner boy, Joe Sorrow's ready to go. If they don't do it this year, he's gone. I promise you that. There's gonna be a trade or something. He's got one foot out the door. The Bengals, I guarantee you that. But yeah, bad season. Joe got hurt again. You do got to wonder if Joe's even is a type of guy that can stay healthy. So that's a concern also. But out of this, crop of people, I'll put them a little higher than everything else. I'll put the Bengals at 22.
Gotcha. Okay. Not that far off, which is funny because we're talking the same teams and the same numbers here. We're not that
Yeah,
far off from each
not that
other.
far off. Nothing
Uh,
crazy. I'll get a little crazier
pre-
later, probably.
Preseason rankings had Miami finishing 24. They did a little better at 22.
Yeah.
But, and this is huge, this is probably the biggest one. Preseason had at number 22, and probably no higher than 20, you're possibly Super Bowl champions.
Wow, that's right. Because
Great man, the
they were
Pats.
way low last year. They only had like what 6 wins or something like that last year, or something like that. It wasn't very much. They were not
The
very
last
good.
couple seasons have been rough, right? Belichick
Yeah.
trying to prove he can do it without Brady. My boss has just told me because she's a
Oh yeah.
huge, mass. Shout out to Sarah. She told me, I mean, you can't feel bad for her that dynasty with Brady, right?
Yeah.
But um, those seasons with Mac, they had mac and cheese. I think
Mac
all the
Jones.
fun
Yeah.
they could have was with the names, right?
Yeah.
Kraft mac and cheese.
After Belichick, they tried a little coach guy, Gerard Mayo, and he just didn't work. Um,
Yep.
yeah, so you got mayo and mac and cheese, good stuff. Just two of my favorite things, by the way. but but didn't work at all. They were awful, and they came this year with a great coach and the right guy to get Drake May where he belonged, and you see how that turned out. But don't forget the easiest schedule in NFL history. But I digress. But yeah, no, that's quite a that's how you outperform it right there.
Dude, 22 all the way to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
And what is it?
Fantastic.
I believe it's 14 and 2, 14
Yeah.
and 3.
Two, I believe.
Yeah, wow.
14 and 3.
14 and 3.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Yeah, so that was 22. And like I said, I went to three sources. They had them listed no higher than 20. And I actually remember fighting myself between them and the Raiders. And when I saw Pete Carroll and like Kenny just stated, the last couple seasons of a rebuild, huge rebuild over there in New England, Mass.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Talk about if we did this last season, would you have picked the Pats as you're coming up from the bottom to the top?
A little bit because I listened to the herd and he was big on that. That was one of his two teams he picked this year to surprise everybody was the Patriots and the Seahawks. So I think he nailed it.
Yeah.
I probably would have put him a little higher than everyone else just because of what he was talking about with everything. He was pretty in depth about it. It sounded really good. So I'm like, I probably would have bought into most of that. But I don't know if I'd have nailed it quite to the Super Bowl.
So, funny thing, that'll bring us to 21. I don't want to spoil it just yet, but because that's our 22s, and we're done with that. So coming in at 21, ladies and gentlemen, Hank Hill, man, hold your breath, brother. Oh boy,
Oh, okay.
what a
That's fine.
tough. Yeah, like what? I don't even know, but at least the logo will do a little justice.
That's so
This
great.
is
That horse is really something. I tell you what, if you're not watching the YouTube version of this, that horse is missing all kinds of limbs. I don't know what's wrong with its head. The cowboy riding him can't see.
for 21, Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, and you know what's crazy is they weren't listed this that much higher than this, but
Yeah.
it's in Jerryland and the fans, and it's such a big organization. You would expect a little more, right? I know Terry Bradshaw and all them, right?
Well, in my opinion, I would have it kind of expected less going into this year because they weren't very good coming in.
They traded Parsons away, right?
And trading Parsons, everybody just completely wrote him off. So I have them ranked a little higher than all this. I have a couple people underneath them that I think were
Okay.
worse.
They were
And
listed at 19 in preseason.
yeah, yeah, I feel like that's probably fair.
Yeah.
So
Maybe you can shed a little light because I know I can't. I just remember Big Zeke there, Ezekiel Elliott,
right,
and Jason Witten
yeah,
and Tony Romo.
right.
What's happened since then, Ken?
Wow. I
If
don't
you were to
know.
sum it up,
Well, to sum it up, Jerry Jones need to stop trying to pretend he's a fucking GM. I think that's the biggest thing. Second biggest thing is they really need to just get a coach. For some reason, he does not like hiring real coaches. Probably because he doesn't want people telling him no.
Mhm.
That's always a problem. He just gets yes men as coaches, and it never works that way. So they've done what they could. They're the team this year. I thought every time I'd look at the record, I always thought they had finished better than they did. Like their finishing record is what 7-9. I really felt like they won one or two more games than that because they played so well. So they were better than I thought they would be in a way, and they certainly played better than their record shows. So that's why I
Seven,
have
9-1,
yeah. So
actually.
right, so they would be 8 if you count that Packers game going one way or the other. But I have
That
them
tying
ranked a little
game,
higher.
that tying game is actually the only reason I didn't have them at 22 because
Hmm.
Miami ended up with 7-10. So
They're way better than the fucking Dolphins were. You can't give me that. Not in any world.
yeah,
The Dolphins are not better than Dallas this year. No.
no, I didn't have that either though. But
The Dolphins,
um,
Saints, and a couple of other teams I'm about to say. I have three teams until I get to Dallas, as a matter of fact, that I think were worse by a lot.
okay. But so speaking of your picks, what did you have at 21?
So my 21 is where I get to the Falcons. I don't know if you've said them yet or not.
I did not because
Okay.
I did mention them in preseason
Okay.
because they were number 25 in
Okay.
preseason.
Well, 21 is where I put
Yep.
Atlanta. They're just so confusing. Penix is a failure. Having Cousins over there, he's all pissed off at being a backup. Then they have to go look to him to be a starter. That's a disaster. They got a new coach coming in, which is the guy from the Browns over there, I think. So
Yeah.
that is just what a mess over there. The only reason I have them a little higher than like the Bengals and such is because they did have some good wins, but boy, they had some horrible losses. So they're, I don't know. I put them this low. I think they're pretty solid. They belong right here for sure. 21 easily. Yeah.
So your 21 is
The Falcons.
the Atlanta Falcons. Wow.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Most frustrating team in the season to pick in confidence, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew.
They beat some
Uh,
good. They beat a couple of good teams. So that's about all I could give them, though.
they
But
did.
goddamn, they lost to every horrible team in the world.
Yes, they did. They
So
pulled the Chicago. That's how Chicago usually plays.
I don't have nothing good for them. I really don't.
Yeah. So interesting enough, and another drum roll, please, Jose, our drummer in our show.
We need to get him to
Um,
record us one or something.
right?
Get a snare out the
The
storage.
right? Seahawks were listed at 21.
Ouch.
Yeah. So interesting enough, 21 and 22 in preseason rankings for me are in the Super Bowl. What?
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
that
talk
again
about
is because everybody thought Sam Darnold was a choke artist, and they didn't think this whole thing would work. And he just won 14 games with the Vikings, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, but that's because the Vikings are great." Well, turns out Sam Darnold has a lot more to do with that than they thought. And he took those 14 wins with him, and the first quarterback ever to win 14 games twice with two different teams back to back.
wow.
And
I still
what a
remember
team.
him on those Viking days too. That's
He
crazy.
was great. And but they had really good receivers going on too, and they're like, oh yeah, because it's the receivers. Anybody could throw to Jefferson or whatever.
They had Adam Thielen in his prime and Devontae Adams over there, I think, right?
I know they had Justin Jefferson, and I don't remember who else.
Yeah. Kyle Rudolph as a rookie tight end. Um, I do remember that. So that was 21 preseason ranking. Wow. Enough said.
Swing
Super
and a
Bowl,
miss.
possible Super Bowl winner too.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
wow.
Put the
So
ring on
that'll
him,
bring
baby.
us, yeah, dude, you said it. That'll bring us to number 20. And number 20, wow. Talk
Yeah.
about falling off. Another team that they just missed. No, they just cracked the top 10, I should say.
I feel like
And it's
we're going to agree here.
another team that's going to make Kenny feel better about his team. It's these guys,
uh,
the Baltimore Ravens at 20. Wow, man.
I agree. Correct.
They were listed at number 2 in preseason.
Yep.
Talk about an 18-foot drop.
Yeah.
Dude, what can we
Yep.
say? Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh were disagreeing and pretending they weren't,
Yeah.
pretending he was hurt.
Yep.
And
I swear to God, I put the same thing. Lamar was pouting, pretending to be hurt all year. Absolutely nailed it. Nailed it.
shenanigans in the clubhouse, right? They took away
Nailed
all
it.
the fun.
Yes. You nailed it right there. Exactly correct. Yep. I have him at 18 as well. Dead on.
And now he even cost John Harbaugh his job.
Yes. Yeah, they
Whew.
totally chose him over John Harbaugh. Good luck with that, Baltimore.
Have they
Good luck with
hired a
that.
new head coach yet?
Jesse Mentor. He was a
Okay.
defensive coordinator for somebody I don't know right off the top of my head.
Better pray he gets along with Lamar.
Yeah, I would imagine he is if they decided to pick him.
So we agree at 20.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oof, that's cool. Uh, so funny enough, since me and Kenny agree there and we said a lot about the Ravens, uh, we I'm gonna give you the rankings, preseason rankings. Actually had these guys here at 20. The
Oh, yeah.
Raiders.
I could have seen they had a lot of hype going on with yeah, that, yeah.
They actually even had them as low as 22. But
Yeah.
for me, it was between the Raiders and the Pats. And the Raider Nations can be pretty addicting. Those guys can sell you boxes.
That's
Man,
funny.
I don't know. I guess, and then I knew that my boss would tell me how bad our Pats were rebuilding and, they're coming off that dynasty. So I think that's one of the reasons why I had the Raiders 20 and not, the Pats. Because the Pats were at 22 and now they're in their Super Bowl, and the Raiders ended up in 31st
Yeah.
on my list.
Right.
Crazy enough. That brings us to 19. And 19 is going to be another big drop, another team in the top 10. They just missed the bottom 10, but still, huge drop. Let's use the logo to cheer them up, Ken.
Wow. Oh, that's your 19?
Yeah,
Same. 19.
yeah. The Buccaneers, man.
Wow.
This is a
Super.
team. Okay, this is probably the first team in the top 10. I didn't hate Baltimore that much. I liked Lamar. I don't like him now after what happened, but
Huh.
I never disliked Baker. I loved Baker even when he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Man, Baker, he was just so amazing out there in Tampa. I don't know how the Panthers
Yeah.
beat them out. I mean, I guess Baker got beat up one week and he just stayed beat up the rest of the season. And
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they were
Insanely
listed
hot
six,
starts
Ken.
for them. They were so hot starting out, and then they just kept getting banged up and kept having problems and couldn't quite get there. So
Ken, they were listed sixth, right behind your
yeah,
Commanders
and they were
preseason.
they were looking like it too, man. They were looking on point for that also. Just all fell apart.
Yeah, crazy enough.
Crushed it.
Uh,
Yeah, I have them at 19 as well.
damn, they're
Another,
probably, I would say, probably the first top 10 team that made us sad, besides your
yeah, for
Commanders.
sure, for sure.
They did not play like a 19. I can tell you that much. They played
No,
great
they
for
were they were
most
they
of the
were pretty
season.
tight. Yeah,
Um, he ended up in that. Who could they win nine even in? I don't know, man. That's crazy.
and didn't.
But preseason wise, 19 was actually given to Dallas,
Right.
believe it or not. And then this is where I will hit everybody with the logo that Hank Hill and everybody knows,
Yeah.
the Texas Star. Yeah, that was the preseason 19, and Kenny and I agree on 19 as Tampa
Yep.
Bay.
Yep.
So that brings us to 18. Kenny already talked about them. He had them a little lower, but they played enough against good teams that they put themselves here.
Okay.
I have the Falcons
Yeah.
at 18. Who do you have at 18, Ken? Since we haven't disagreed in a few picks here.
My 18 is where I put Dallas at. I had them higher, certainly higher than the Bucks. I think that could, if the Bucks wouldn't have fell off so hard, I would have put them ahead. But I put Dallas above the Bucks. I definitely put Dallas above the Ravens, and I definitely would have put Dallas over the Falcons and the Bengals for sure. Saints, all that stuff, and none of those teams are better than Dallas. I don't think this year. And I hate Dallas, so trust me, it takes a lot for me to say so.
Yeah, yeah, no, I trust you there.
And
That you definitely have spoken like a true neutral party.
everyone wrote Dallas off completely, and I didn't think anything good of them coming in, and it really seemed like they were in the playoff mix towards the end there. Like they were really close to getting a playoff spot, and just kind of got edged out, and it did kind of didn't work. But they were really really good. They certainly had more playoff hopes than anybody else we've talked about so far. I think.
I still remember when you were shocked when I told you in week 8 or 9 they were 3-5.
Yeah, I thought they had won 5 games by then. They were so good, man. Like they were
Yeah,
really playing their asses off, man. I
and
got to give it to them. They were great.
Dak definitely turned it on, like you said at
Yeah,
the end
and
there.
they were like 1 or 2 steps away from being a playoff team, and then nobody else we talked about so far was except maybe the Bucks.
Yeah,
So I might would flip them in the Bucks here and there between 18, 19 or whatever, but
yeah,
I got Dallas at 18.
gotcha. So I had Atlanta at 18, and originally, um, I just want to say before I give away the 18, it was another exciting team that I loved watching this year. Before I get into that, the last thing I want to say about the Falcons was I came from 10 seasons ago when the Falcons were exciting. I watched them play Brady and lose at the last minute. Cost me some money, so I was a little mad then. But Matty Ice and the boys, Julio Jones, Devontae Freeman, what a squad, man.
Yeah.
They should have won that year. No, I'm sorry, boss. Oh man, they just blew it at the end there. But wow,
Yeah.
what a team!
Right. I remember
This
that game.
team Yeah, this team was not that. I know they were rebuilding, and Bijan, my cousin loves Bijan, and
He is good.
yeah, he is. He likes the rebuild stuff, and oh man, what more can I say? They were the most annoying team to pick in confidence.
Yeah.
Besides one other team that I will be mentioning shortly. But drum roll, please, on this one, 18. And these guys outplayed their hearts out. What a team
Oh,
preseason.
what?
Trevor Lawrence and the boys. They played so well. They got in the playoffs, and
Yeah.
actually, what the hell? They're top 10. They just cracked top 10, dude.
Correct.
Uh,
I'd go correct on that. Yes.
Yeah, man. They were, besides Indiana Jones, who I just mentioned previously, and I will be mentioning them again shortly. Um, Trevor Lawrence, man, and the London Jags, as Kenny calls them.
That's right.
What a team to watch this year. Even when their star two-way player got hurt, is it Kareem Hunt? Yeah,
No,
uh,
Travis Hunter, I
Hunter.
think. Yeah.
There you go. I knew it was. I had the
Um,
name there. Yeah. Ooh,
Hurd pointed out that as soon as that guy got hurt, they got really good because they could focus on what they were supposed to be doing, and I couldn't agree more.
okay.
It seemed like they were focused too much on what we're going to do with him and trying to make him work with both sides of the ball, and it's all about trying to get this new kid to work and all this stuff. And as soon as he got hurt and got out the damn way, they got down to business, got down to football, and started winning games, and they got to the playoffs. So I'm not going to say it's his fault. I'm sure he's a great kid. I'm sure they'll figure something out next year, and I'm sure he'll be great. But this year it was kind of a distraction, and once he got out the damn way, they did really well.
I would say this might be a favorite. Well, they ended up at the top. They'll probably stay at the top, I would think. I don't see them dropping. Do you?
And they probably won't be as good this. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't
It
know.
was
They might be
exciting for
about the
me.
same. Yeah, I'd say about the same. I could see them making the playoffs and getting bounced first round or something. That's what they do.
Yeah. It was exciting for me coming off of 10 seasons ago where it was
That
Blaine
depends.
Gabbert and Leonard Fournette was the most exciting thing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're one of those divisions where the whole division's bad. So if you're really good, you can get to the playoffs easy. But if you're not, like it's easy to end up third, and miss completely. So it's hard to say.
gotcha. So that was preseason's 18, and I actually had Atlanta at 18, and Kenny had Dallas.
Yes.
That'll bring us to 17.
Yep.
And I already talked about them, you know, about them briefly there. They were another big jump there. I showed you the vintage logo, so time to go for that classic logo that everybody knows and loves. Indiana Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Taylor and the gang.
Well, for the sake of time, I will tell you I agree. I have them at 17, and all I wrote down is what might have been.
Yeah, no, we said everything we could about them. I was just putting them out there. They went from 29 in preseason all the way to 17.
What
And
might have been.
yeah, man, if Indy would have stayed healthy, I think they could have cracked the top 10. Um,
Easily.
oh yeah. And the next one here is a little hometown thing for Jose and me. In preseason,
Oh, I'm about to say, I know you ain't got them ranked that low.
no, preseason did though.
Preseason, yes. Yeah, preseason, I can understand. Um,
Preseason
and
did.
for what it's worth, here this is the second half. Now we got the first 15 or 16 teams. Now we're to the top half. Now is where we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bears at 16 probably was pretty fair to be honest. Maybe even a little hopeful. I mean, they were not looking good coming in.
Definitely. That actually is number 17 for me. Kenny and me agreed on Indy.
Yep.
That will bring us to 16. And that is actually where another top 10 team fell, Ken. The next top 10 team that fell here is
Okay.
your let me cheer them up with the logo, Ken.
So close.
Your Detroit Lions. Yeah.
Fantastic logo that is.
Classic, vintage. So the Lions came in at ranked at number 5.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they were really
yeah,
hot.
another drop. Yeah. Not as big as the other, bottom 10, top 10 teams, but still, they from 5 to 16. Man. And at 16, preseason, these guys finished up a lot better. But at 16, unfortunately, having lost Hicks there, they couldn't finish it off. But um, the number 16 pick there from the, I'm going to have them here at definitely having them there. A little vintage logo there, Ken.
No. That's the
But
best
that,
logo about it. The Broncos seriously need to go back to that.
brother, they came from 16 to top 5. We'll
Yeah.
be talking about them right at the end of our show here, but
Correct.
this is where they first get touched on because in preseason they were ranked 16
Yeah.
with Hicks and Sean Payton, and they made it to the playoffs and crushed it up until the conference championship. Who did you have at 16?
So number 16, I had one team worse than the Lions. I put the Vikings at 16. Just they weren't that as good. The Lions are better than the Vikings, so I switched that. Someone should be fired from the Vikings for trading Sam Darnold. I can't believe they let a guy like that go for JJ McCarthy. Whoever did that, firing's not enough. They should that boy firing squad. But yeah, I put the Vikings at 16. And because you already talked about them, I'll go ahead and say that my 15 was where I put the Lions. They just didn't have it this year. The window's closing. They're another one of those teams where it's not like they had seriously major injuries or anything. I just don't know what happened. It just didn't fall for them. So I don't know what happened there. But between those two, I would definitely put the Vikings under the Lions. There's no way I would put the Vikings above them. The Lions certainly looked better than the Vikings did at any point in time. But yeah,
Gotcha.
that's what
Yeah,
I
I
got.
know
That's what
they
I got.
played games. Honestly, that's a perfect segue here for me.
Right.
We're gonna do that. Being said, we are going to do the fact that, like you said, we're our picks are very close.
Right.
They're
We're
not
just
that far
yeah,
off.
we're flip flopping there. Yeah.
Yeah, and the
There's no way
reason
I
for
could put the
that.
Vikings above the Lions, though. No way.
So in
Zero
preseason,
chance. No
what's
way.
crazy is this
No
is the
way.
one team that preseason had at 15, and I left at 15.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. So that's the crazy thing. I don't think anybody else. No, this is the only team that stayed where they were ranked at in preseason.
Yeah.
15 for 15.
Yeah. I no way I could put them above the Lions.
I mean, you told
No
me
way.
Sam McCarthy, they were playing games with him all from the beginning, from the get-go, whether he was hurt or not. And that was the biggest thing, right?
Yeah,
Because
that whole thing's a
besides,
mess.
yeah. Now, I guess my last question before we move on from them would be, would this be a favorite for, started at 15, making it to the top 10 next season, do you think?
The Vikings?
Or could they get worse?
I
Yeah,
kind
for
of feel
you.
like I feel like they could probably fall if anything.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't see a lot of hope for them over there, to be honest.
Gotcha.
Unless the coaching, unless they get JJ McCarthy together and really click, maybe. But I'd predict down way before I'd predict up. That's for sure.
For sure. That brings us to 14, and my 14 here. We already talked about them because they were listed a lot lower, but it is the Fun Panthers. This is where they ended up, Ken.
You put them at
They
15?
14.
14's Panthers?
Yep.
Correct. Me
15
too.
was the
Yes,
Vikings.
14. I put the Panthers as well, or as I like to call them, the Paper Tigers. Uh, they were hot at home. They were a bust otherwise, and I never bought into them. And the one thing I could get right is trust me, they might be fine now, but we'll see what happens in the playoffs. And what happened in the playoffs. But yeah, agreed. I got the Panthers at 14 also.
Yeah, yeah, they came out preseason at 28, and top 14 is also playoff teams. So from here on out, we're just talking playoff teams now.
Yeah.
The 14th team, Ken, in preseason, did they do better? No, they actually did worse. Very much worse. Ken, this is actually where preseason rankings had the Cardinals, bud.
Oh, yeah, right. We said that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't there's not much more to say. Kyler Murray wouldn't put down the controller for COD, right?
Nope.
So,
New
but yeah, there you go.
new Call of Duty
Uh,
came out and the Cardinals went all the way down.
And I guess the last thing I got to say about the Cardinals before I move on to my 13th pick is when I was watching back then, that was Larry Fitzgerald was still there. I even caught Kurt Warner. Man, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, this team, they were excitement for the young team, young core. Kyler Murray, I don't know. He's like, I would say he's like you say Joe Burrows is questionable about staying healthy. I would say the same thing about Kyler Murray.
Oh, for sure, for sure. That we don't know what's going to happen with them next year. They want to get rid of him, but like, who the fuck's going to take him? I don't even know what they're going to do. It's a mess.
For sure. Coming in at 13 is, and this is like I said, we're in the playoff spots here. The Green Bay Packers. Yep, and they were ranked 9. Like I said, my cousin Tommy was very honest. He's a Packer fan, and he put them at 9, just cracking the top 10. But they finished up at 13. A lot of injuries, even to that key acquisition of Mika Parsons. The Mika Parsons project
Wow.
went down, and
I got him. I got him at 13 also. Dead on. Yes.
nice,
Hot start. They were
nice.
called Super Bowl favorites from the beginning, and they completely, I won't say completely fell off, but they just didn't live up, is what I'll say.
Yeah, they
You
cracked the
know,
playoffs though. I know their coach. Some people either love him or hate him. I know a lot of people that don't like him. So
so the offensive
yeah,
coordinator took the fall for that, but they kept the LaFleur, fired the
yeah,
offensive coordinator, and we'll see.
they reinstated him. Oh,
Yep.
um,
The OC
and
took that
the
hit. I'm assuming LaFleur has 1 year though. If it ain't happening next year, I'm sure he'll get the can then.
yeah. So preseason rankings, these guys did better than this too. They actually cracked top 10. Another exciting team there. Love them or hate them, Boomhauer,
Yeah,
your
fair.
Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cracked a little higher. We'll be saying a little more about them shortly. CJ
Shortly.
Stroud looking good and on fire there.
Eh,
The defense, I don't
I
know if
wouldn't
they
say
were the
that at
best
all.
defense in the league, but they
Stroud
were
looks
good
good every
enough
now
to,
and then.
yeah. Um, so that was where preseason had them 13. They passed that up. That brings us to number 12. And Unc 1, Aaron Rodgers helping the Steelers, defying time itself, Ken.
Okay.
He went from 26 to 12.
Okay. I got him higher.
Really?
Oh yeah. I got a couple of teams underneath the Steelers.
Okay.
Definitely.
Who do you have at 12?
My 12 is gonna be the Chargers.
Okay.
Just not dependable. I put on here, no one gets more excuses than Herbert. Oh, wait, except that one guy. We'll get to him later too. But yeah, I don't know, man. The Chargers just were lucky to finish as well as they did. And they did not look good doing it. I have the Steelers higher. I feel like probably only because they just outlived my expectations by so much. And these other
Yeah.
teams that I got coming up did about what I expected them to or worse. And that's where I pretty much kept them. You know what I'm saying? So I got a couple of
Yeah.
teams under the Steelers that, like, the Chargers were not better than the Steelers this year, I don't think.
Yeah.
So that's where I got the Chargers at 12.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff about Herbert. I'll be segueing into that in just a moment. But before I
Yeah.
do, no, I just want to remind everybody my number 12 was the Steelers and Unc 1, Aaron Rodgers. And Kenny took the Chargers, but preseason says that we both preseason had my Niners at 12.
Yeah. That's
And I
crazy.
am,
That's way
yeah,
off.
yeah.
That's way off. I wouldn't have even put them that low preseason wise. They have too much of a good team.
Well, like you said, man, they outplayed and they're top five. They finished top five even with all those injuries. Man,
Yeah.
it's just crazy to think another. If we're gonna sit here and talk about what they could have done if they were healthy, this is
Sure.
the number one team to talk about
Oh my
that. I
God.
think.
Yeah. Look how well they were with injuries. Imagine if they weren't. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
they'd have been unstoppable, man.
pretty much. So
Golly.
I'm a huge fan, and there's no more I could say a little bit later here. That'll bring us to number 11, and like I said, I'm just gonna segue here from Kenny. We're doing the Governators Chargers. They left San Diego. The last time I saw them, they were in San Diego. You got Philip Rivers over there, who came back oddly enough.
Oh yeah,
It
there's
was
that whole thing.
crazy.
They had to go all the way to Philip Rivers to get something done. Crazy, man.
Yeah, the
Oh no, that was
Colts.
the Colts that did that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but this is the last time we saw him play. He was on the Chargers in San
Right, right,
Diego.
right, right, right.
The Chargers are now in LA, and they're 11.
Yeah.
Um, Amari and Hampton, they were expecting a lot out of him. I think he did what he could, right? But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, they had my boy Jim Harbaugh as their coach,
That's
so
right.
that was exciting enough.
I think that Alex Alt guy, the protection for Herbert getting hurt. I mean, it was pretty bad for him. He did get beat up out there. I'll give him that, but you know,
Yeah,
got
they
to show up.
just, oh yeah, and they just missed the top 10, which is where preseason actually had them, the Chargers.
Yeah.
So they're not that besides the Vikings, dead on. This was close to it. Um, so that was what a number. Okay, at number 11. So Joe Soros, man, is actually preseason had them here.
Yeah,
There's
I
that
could see
old
that.
Bengal. Yeah. We already talked about them, right? There's not much more I could say, but this is where they were supposed to be in preseason.
Interesting.
Who did you have at 11, Ken?
I'm gonna have this a lot lower than y'all probably. I put the Texans at 11.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
Good defense, horrible offense. That you said like, oh, Stroud looking great. No, he didn't. He looked awful. He was completely carried by defense. He had some good games here and there, but that's what he does. Like I said,
Yeah,
he's like a,
Deshaun Watson, I
but
believe he
like
said.
he's lived up to his potential a little more than Watson ever would. But it's that streaky where like
Yeah,
one weekend you'll see him just look so good, and then the next it's
MVP.
just a bum. I mean,
Yeah,
just 5 turnovers in the playoffs. What are you doing? He's just awful.
yeah,
Good defense. I'll give them that. They're a tough out in that way, but they,
yeah,
they fell right out of the playoffs, man. And I knew that was going to happen. So I put them higher than a couple of other teams like the Chargers or the Packers, the Panthers and stuff, but they're not going higher than anyone else after this. That's for sure.
gotcha. All right, a
Right
little
out,
more on
right
them
outside
later.
the top 10. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I was just gonna say, I was wondering where you were gonna put them. I didn't think you'd be as high as me.
They're
I
not going
wasn't
to be top.
surprised
The Texans are not a top 10 team
for
in
sure,
any planet.
for sure. So coming in at number 10, now we're going into the top 10. This was a two-way tie by round and finish, is where I did this one. Uh, the Chargers just missed their preseason rank because the number one seeded Eagles went down all the way to 10.
Okay.
Bam. That's they cracked the top 10,
That's low,
but
I feel like.
it is, but that's where they ended up finishing, and it was a two-way tie there. The other nine teams, two of them are in the Super Bowl, so enough said there. The other seven I will be mentioning in just a bit if I haven't already, so yeah, the Eagles, they were great last year. Loved what they did to the Chiefs. They were my mascot in high school. Jalen Hurts and all the others that, with awesome last names there making all the jokes. Um, every time they played, like Brown, right? If you got me on your fantasy team, drop me. Come on, bro. What are
Right.
you saying, bro?
Yeah.
Focus on the game, bro. Come on.
But even with that, they were so good. Like,
They were, yeah.
golly.
Even with all their issues, and Yeah, I watched them tear down the one game they played the Lions. They tore them down. You thought the Lions had a great offense, they did, but man, Eagles shut them down. Solid defense. Who do you have at 10, Ken?
I have a couple of teams before I'll get to the Eagles for sure that I thought was worse. Starting with my number 10 being the Jags. This is where I'll put the Jags. They looked hot and then did absolutely nothing, which is what they do. They got hot late just to bust anyway, as I put down. The London Jags. Yeah, they're about what I thought, you know. I didn't. I certainly slept on them. Don't get me wrong; they were way better regular season than I thought. But I knew once we got to playoffs, they were out of there, and that's exactly how it went. I'll give them top 10 nod for sure because they played their asses off. I'll give them that. But
Yeah,
they're not going any higher than 10.
for sure. Segue. No, so 10, as I already mentioned, 10 in preseason was actually the Chargers.
Right.
I'm gonna hit them with the old San Diego Taco logo. And that'll bring us to number 9, segue into Kenny's London Jags.
Yep.
Enough said. Trevor Lawrence and the boys look great this year. I thought it was enough to bring them into the top 10, and they took number 9. Number 9. Number 9.
Number 9. Number 9.
So with that being said, what did you have at 9 there, Ken?
Number 9 is where I put the Steelers. I did keep them top 10. They just were so much better than I thought they would have been.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was a complete surprise. And he really held that team together, dude. I'm not going to lie. Their defense wasn't even all that good. And they're a defensive team.
Yeah.
Tomlin ends up getting out the door anyway. Who knows what's going to happen now, if Aaron's coming back or not. I really, really wish he wouldn't. But a better year than I thought for him. That's for sure going in. I wouldn't have expected it. I'll give him a number 9 nod, you know. They're better than
Nice.
the Texans and shit for sure.
So London Jags from 18
Even though
to
they were
9 for
eliminated
me.
by the Texans, weren't they?
Yeah.
So there you go. You could argue that with me if you wanted to, but
Yeah, no, that defense tore them down. Like ever had everybody saying they were the best defense in the league that game, they said.
yeah.
I didn't disagree, but I could see what they were saying, but I didn't think they were, and that was the first time I heard it all season.
Yeah.
Um, that number 9 originally in the preseason before I move on to 8 here, it was the Pack. And the Pack ended up at 13, and we talked about them.
Yeah.
Number 8, here's the exciting one. This is where I put. What can I say?
Oh, what?
Yeah, Jose.
Oh no.
Benny and the boys.
That's way too low.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Number 8.
Wow. That's a swing and a miss. No way they're that low. No way they're that low. That's insane.
So
I'll admit now I have them way too high, but there's no way they're fucking 8th. No way they're 8th.
Their record at 11-6. The close, the games were exciting to watch, but the fact that they at the end there, yeah, I couldn't go higher than 8 there.
Oh no
with
way.
Those numbers.
I don't care.
Here's
here's one thing I'm gonna get to because I got them higher than some teams that might have, but it's like one win more than them. I don't care about win-loss record when we're starting to get this high. Like one win difference doesn't make that much of a difference. I'm looking at a team by then.
Gotcha. Who'd you have at 8?
So my 8 is the biggest disappointment of the year, really, for everyone. I don't know if you were really that much into the thing of it all or not, but my number 8 would be the Bills. I mean, they were the Super Bowl. That's it. Mahomes is out the way. This is Josh Allen's year. They're going to be Super Bowl champions. It's like the roadway is clear for Josh Allen. Super Bowl, Bills, and they did nothing. So, yeah, they're the biggest disappointment of these top teams to me, and I had to penalize them pretty hard for that. And they looked awful doing it. Like they're like the opposite of Dallas, where I constantly thought Dallas had a better record than they did. I was always kind of surprised the Bills had as many wins as they had. Like I'm shocked the Bills had 12 wins. I don't know where they pulled those out of their ass because they looked terrible every game. And that's what I'm considering here. Like, yeah, the Bills had one more win than the Bears, but they didn't look good. The Bears looked great. They had so much fight. They were amazing to watch. They're so good, but the Bills just look terrible. So
Oh yeah.
one win isn't going to put the Bills above the Bears for me at all.
And just to give you justice there, the Bears went from 17 to all the way to 8.
Yeah,
So
but
for
no way I put the Bears that low. And the Bills were just to me, like I said, being in this part of the top 10 here, I got to
yeah,
penalize the Bills pretty hard for failing as hard as they did.
yeah. At least they made the playoffs too. I got a little
No,
bit more to
that's
say
not
on them.
enough. That's not enough for the Bills. They were Super Bowl or bust, and they busted.
Yeah.
End of
Oh, for sure.
discussion. End of discussion.
Um, so that was your number 8.
Not even getting to the Super Bowl. It was win the Super Bowl or bust.
Right. And that was your number 8, the Bills.
Yes.
I got the
Yes.
Bears. Preseason wise, they had the Rams. And
That's crazy.
this is where things get interesting, Ken, because I forgot to mention, because I just noticed this, the Eagles were the last top 10 team that dropped from their preseason ranking in the top 5.
Yeah.
They dropped. The Rams are the first top 10 team that were ranked 8 in the top 10 and did better.
Yeah. For sure.
I'll be mentioning them shortly, but I just thought that was a fun stat there since they came up at 8.
Yeah.
That brings us to number 7,
Right.
and that is where I actually had dang old Boomhauer told us all season that his
No
team was
way.
good. But
Zero.
the
No way.
Texans are at 7, originally
Boy.
listed 13.
The Texans
Brother,
are better
trust
than the
me,
Bears? No
yeah,
way. No way.
the way they
No.
carved up Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Uh, the,
Nah,
so
fam.
you're talking about teams that got on fire at the right time. This is the number 1 team that got on fire at the right time, man.
Yeah,
They
but
were
then
good
did
enough to.
absolutely nothing. It fell
They
flat on
went
their
from
fucking face.
they went from 13 to 7, and they made the playoffs and even won a game in the playoffs like they did. Well, that was crazy. Yeah. Who do you have at 7?
7 is where I put the Eagles. So much chaos and confusion, like I said, but they ended up falling anyway. But man, they won so many games to look that bad.
Yeah.
You
Trust
know,
me, I was shocked they lost too.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
Houston
The
Heroes,
Texans had like one win difference from the Eagles, and trust me, the Eagles looked a whole lot better than the Texans ever did. They were solid all year. The Texans didn't get hot till later, and they looked bad doing it. So, yeah,
yeah, but
give me the Eagles
the Eagles were listed at number 1, and they were expected to
for
do that.
sure,
The
for sure, for
Texans were at
sure.
13.
Yeah,
I
but I
think
wouldn't
that's
have expected that either. Like, I wouldn't have been dumb enough to think the Eagles are going to come back
yeah,
as number 1 next year after winning a Super Bowl. That's just stupid. Nobody does that.
yeah,
So I wouldn't have
uh,
expected that at all.
right. No, I hear you, man. I like the Eagles too, but sadly, I think that's where they're doing that, where they ended up at number 1, and they went all the way to 10 here because,
Yeah.
like you said, they fell off there right when it mattered on the end. But like you
Yeah.
said, it was a lot.
Yeah, they look
Um,
better than some. I got them at 7.
for sure. Number 7, we already talked about, Ken. And this is the last time in our video that we'll mention your team. It was the Commanders.
Yeah, it's at the time.
Yeah, they were
Oof.
solid in the playoffs last year. I still remember. I wasn't watching, but I
Worst
remember
logo in the
hearing it.
league.
Yeah, that W.
We went from the
Well,
best logo in the league to the worst. Huh. Terrible.
so they were originally 7 there, and they were the one of the top 10 drop offs there.
Yep.
That brings us to number 6. That is actually at 6 is where I have. Let me see here. Yeah, number 6 is where I'm putting the Bills.
Hmm.
The Bills are listed number 6. They're second of a 3-way tie by record and finish by another team that will be mentioned shortly, but Buffalo, Houston, and this other team. They ended up 6th here. Um, that is actually a drop from where they were listed, as Kenny mentioned.
Yeah.
All the stuff Kenny mentioned about them. They were actually preseason ranked fourth, believe it or
Yeah.
not, and they fell down to sixth, and they fell just short of a Super Bowl, like you said.
Yeah.
It was a very controversial call. You hear people talk about, right?
Yeah.
Um, Shout out to Bianca, my daughter's therapist. She's a big Bills fan.
Poor
Um,
therapist. The
yeah,
therapist will need therapy at this point.
yeah. Well, she's a physical therapist, not a
Well, that's
not a
fair.
mental.
Well, she'll need a real therapist then.
Oh boy,
I don't mean
yeah.
real the therapist is in that. I'm sorry. That was
Oh,
degrading of me. I don't mean it that way. She'll
Josh
need
Allen, and
a
then
different type of, I should say.
who do you have at six, Ken?
Yeah, Barrett, get me out of this hole I'm burying myself in. My my number 6 is where I'm gonna put the Niners. I think I had this flipped to begin with, but I'm gonna correct it here. I think I'm gonna be fair, and I'm gonna put the Niners at 6, just outside of the top 5. Uh, like we've said so much already. They won all year despite injuries. Unlike the Commanders and Bengals who used injuries as an excuse, the Niners crushed it
Yeah.
and won as many games as possible and made a pretty nice run in the playoffs and everything. So all props to them. So I'll put them at number 6, just outside of top 5, the obvious top 5.
Right. So that's crazy, man. So segue, perfect segue. We keep on doing this. Perfect segue from you. That is where I have them too, at top five, man.
Right.
And it was, like I said, a three-way fight between Buffalo, Houston, and San Fran with that 12-5 record. But in the end, as you stated, San Fran came in listed at 12, and they went from 12 all the way to 5. And they played with injuries, looking better than Houston and looking better than Buffalo. So I had to have them crack the top 5, you know? Um, who do you have at 5, Ken?
We would have agreed right there because I had him at 5 originally, but I kind of switched it along the way because I have to be fair. I have to be fair. This team has to be in the top 5. So the bottom of my top 5 is where I'm going to put the Broncos. Solid year. Just missed the thing, but they were just, I don't know, man. They just left so much left. I don't know, man. To me, the Broncos got as far as they did because the NFC side is the best of the NFC, and I feel like the AFC side is the best of what's left. And that's why I have my top 5 is pretty heavily NFC going forward. I'll tell you that now. Regardless of
Yeah.
what the playoffs happen, I have 3 NFCs and 2 AFCs, so I'm gonna put the Broncos in the top 5 where they belong, respectfully.
Okay.
But they just looked awful. I mean that championship game was terrible, and that was before the weather. I don't want to hear the weather as an excuse, but and Sean Payton completely botched that, and then fired his offensive coordinator because of his call. Sean Payton's a dick.
Is
Oh
it
boy, you heard that
possible
thing?
that Hicks was?
Go
Do you
ahead.
think Hicks was playing hurt? Is it
Whoa,
possible?
that's come up today. So I don't know if you heard this whole thing with Bo Nix, but they went to go do the surgery on Bo Nix's ankle, and they found out that he had like 2 or 3 surgeries in the past that they didn't know about from his like
Oh,
high school and college days and shit.
wow.
Because they were like, when they went to go do it, they're like, yeah, there's more to this than we thought. And it became more of a process and shit. And Sean Payton straight up said in a press conference, if I knew that, I wouldn't have fucking drafted you. He was joking, but was he? Not really. He's like, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have drafted you. Nervous laughter. He wouldn't have drafted him if he'd have known that. He was pretty pissed. And Drake May was mad. I'm sorry, Drake May. Bo Nix was mad because he put that out there the way he did. So there seems to be a fight there now. It's getting ugly with the Broncos, but
Oh man.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if that
Yeah.
love affair is over with or not. But
So that was your number 5.
my number 5 is the Broncos.
Gotcha. Mine's the Niners.
Yeah, we were
Well,
close to agreeing there.
preseason, just because I missed it here, just for the sake of time, I'm trying to speed it up for us. The Buccaneers were sixth,
Yeah, it's
and they were
pretty
another
late.
top 10 team that fell all the way. Unfortunately, this was not one I was happy to talk about, but they went from 6 to 19.
Yeah.
They did not play like that. They definitely played like a sixth ranked team. Baker. That brings us to five. Preseason wise, number five, another drop, big one too. Not as big as the other ones, but still slightly big there. That's where we put the Lions. The Lions were ranked five, and they dropped to. I have them here at 16.
Yeah, they just didn't
So
have it, man. Yeah.
yeah, they definitely did not play like a five team at all. So occasion maybe, but no. And
Yeah.
that, with that being said, that brings us to number four. That I already mentioned them already. Number four is, and Kenny loved these guys. I mean, he got into it with me about them. The Rams. Yeah, the Rams are listed fourth, and they are also
Fourth
your
is
first
ridiculous.
and your first and only top 10 team to not only get in the top 10 preseason with number eight, but jump from eight to four.
You're gonna tell me the Broncos are better than the Rams, dude? Come on,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
No, not in any
Yep.
planet. Not in any
That,
planet.
yeah.
Head to head, the Rams would have fucking destroyed them. Not even close.
Rams, man.
I'd
Eight
give the Rams
went.
plus 7. No way. No way.
Oh,
Not in any
shoot.
planet.
Who do you have for?
My number 4. Here's where I take a swing at y'all. My number 4 is the Patriots.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, it's such an easy schedule, cakewalk to the Super Bowl, and they're about to get destroyed for it. Uh, yeah, what can you say?
You like
they played absolutely nobody, and when they did play somebody, they lost.
and you
And
like Drake May.
I like Drake May, and he's great,
I'm
and I'm sure
surprised.
there's a future there, but he's just not better than the teams coming up. Just weren't. If he had to play the schedule that the teams I got coming up, he wouldn't have even made the playoffs. I'll tell you that now.
Hmm.
And that I mean, come on, dude. That championship game again for him too, just like the Broncos, was awful. He got one touchdown. Pathetic.
Yeah.
Absolutely pathetic.
Hmm.
So yeah, the Patriots are fourth at best.
And they're in the Super Bowl.
Yes. Because
Don't
who's
forget
left?
that.
Because
Um,
okay, but put them in the NFC. Where would they end up?
I hear you, man. I
Put
hear
them
what
in
you're
the fucking
saying, but
NFC. Where do they end up, dude? That's
they're
what
in
I'm
the
saying. You
Super
got to
Bowl.
look at it from they're a Super Bowl team. Yeah,
Yep.
on the fucking weakest side.
Yeah.
This is an overall. We're not ranking the AFC or the NFC. You're ranking the whole thing.
Yeah, I feel you.
You can't tell
But
me the Patriots are better than the Rams. They're just not.
going by finish, it says they are, but I hear you, man. I know what you're saying. Um, the I already mentioned this. The preseason number four, and this is where Kenny's argument on this one comes in, is actually where because they were listed, they ended up sixth, and they're the first. At least they stayed in the top 10. That's saying a lot because a lot of top 10 teams fell a lot out of top 10. But Kenny said it was all or nothing. They were listed at fourth going into the season, and they ended up sixth.
Yeah, I dropped them pretty hard for that.
Yep, I had the Rams at fourth, and Kenny took
The
at
Patriots.
fourth the
Yep.
Patriots.
Yep. Because
That
again, we're
brings
ranking
us
the entire NFL, not one side of it.
that brings us to Denver at number three for me.
No way.
Bo Nix. I mean, enough said, man.
No way.
That that game against the Giants, those 5-4 touchdowns in the freaking fourth quarter, man, that was nasty. And like you said, crazy thing about his foot. I wonder if he was probably playing with that foot that game, dude. Like you said, it wasn't just the weather; something was up. But yeah, I put Denver at 3. They came in to the preseason listed 16, and they definitely played. No, early on, you got to say this because even they were listed at 16, everyone was excited. Sean Payton and the people he drafted, they weren't playing like that early on. They had a lot to prove, and they weren't looking like it early on, but they
They
made
looked
it all the
like
way to
shit
third.
in every game and would come back in the fourth quarter to win. Like they never looked good.
But the Bears
And
did the
then
same
failed in the
thing.
playoffs.
But the Bears did the same thing.
Yeah, but they were better. I put the Bears at number 3. I'll tell you that now.
I was just going to ask you, who do you have at 3?
The Bears.
They did the exact same thing. But Denver had a better record too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, by like a win or two. Probably like by one win or whatever. But
I thought they were 14-3, weren't they?
then if it's a win or two, I didn't care. The Bears were a much better team. A lot more fight into them. Again, the Bears were just crushing it, man. Won so many games. Amazing.
Which is crazy
To
because
me, the
yeah,
Broncos wins felt a lot more like luck, and the Bears wins felt a lot more like fight.
gotcha. There are some Packer fans that would disagree with you, but
That was a
I
luck thing. It
like
just
it.
came down to the last play.
So did Denver, right? So the funny enough,
Yeah, in a
preseason
10 to
had these.
7 game. They didn't even score a
Yeah,
fucking touchdown. And you have them third?
yeah, but like we just said, the weather and Hicks was probably playing
Don't
with
give
a
me the
bad
weather
foot.
shit. That didn't start till the fourth fucking quarter. They had 3 other quarters. What happened then? They didn't even score a
He
touchdown.
he scores all his touchdowns in the fourth quarter, Ken. We just said that.
Yeah, until you can't, and then you look like shit. And then you get fucking exposed.
Yeah. What was I going to ask you though? No, I was trying to tell you in preseason, and funny enough, they had the Bears and Denver right next to each other at 16 and 17.
Yeah.
Um, so with that being said, at number 3 and the ultimate drop, we're going to mention these guys one last time before moving on.
Yeah, the
Your
Chiefs,
Kansas
yeah.
City Chiefs, Ken.
Right.
Wow. So as bad as you feel about your Commanders, man, whoa, at least you're not a Chief fan.
Oh God,
uh,
no.
all right, so the next one at 1 and 2, and our
Yes.
Super Bowl teams. I
Correct, because it was my Super Bowl.
yeah, I crazy enough, these guys were listed at 21 and 22 respectively going into the preseason. Um, if I had to pick it, I would say the Patriots are 2.
No way.
Drake May, rookie coming in there doing what he did, that record, like Kenny said, the schedule was easy, but you could still find a way to mess up a good schedule like that. I've seen it done.
Sure.
The kid did not. He went from 22 all the way to 2
Yep.
in the Super Bowl.
Against the backup.
Crazy, man. I gotta,
Against the
because I
backup.
was gonna.
Do you really think if Bo Nix would have actually been played and healthy that they would have won? What do you think there? Because after I've watched the game, I don't think they would have. I would have picked them, but I don't think they would have won. If they'd have had a like good weather, since y'all won't care about the weather so much, if they'd have had good weather in a solid game to actually play each other, I don't think the Patriots would have won.
Against Denver? No.
Yeah, I don't think they would have won. They look that
Yeah.
bad. I mean, so did the Broncos. I know it's tough to say, but and
I
Drake May
so I
couldn't do
have
anything.
yeah. Now, for argument's sake, and this is where your part comes in about looking at these as individual teams, this is where you could actually rank. Yeah, I would say New England is 2 and Seattle's 1, right? That's what I would say. And crazy enough, and even in the preseason, dude, They were at 21 and 22. Um, it's so hard for me to say that either one is number one because that's almost like saying I think this number one team is going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, they will. And
I
I don't
think the
care.
Seahawks are
I,
going to
I don't even
win.
care if they do or not. They were the better team by far.
Right,
The
but
Seahawks were a much better team than the Patriots this year. No question.
yeah, they were opponents wise too. Like you said, the schedule.
Yes.
I wasn't arguing that. I was just telling you what the numbers and what they have in the numbers and the rankings. Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with what you like. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just here to tell you what I found.
Yeah.
Oh, I that's why I had on my notes. I literally have New England, Seattle, 22-21, and then I have them with the cross. I have New England slash Seattle at one, number two, New England slash Seattle at two. And I did that because the way that I'm going with these rankings is basically your number one is the one who wins the Super Bowl. So if you're asking me today, I guess it's Seattle.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm
but
ranking it for what it is. Like I said, we're looking back at the year that happened. And, with that being said, the Hawks were a far better team.
who do you have at one and two?
My number two is the Rams, and my number one is the Seahawks because they're the
Okay,
two best teams in the NFL without question. I don't care
gotcha.
who's playing in the AFC side. Like I said, the AFC
Yeah,
had their best teams representing them, and the AFC didn't. They just had kind of whatever was left. You had a fucking rookie versus a backup in the AFC Championship game. You can't tell me those are the two best teams in the AFC. It's just kind of how it happened. It's kind of just
yeah,
whoever was still had some limbs left to limp across the finish line. Meanwhile,
pretty
The
much,
NFC is just humming with their best. I
pretty
got
much.
I that's why I was so close to putting the Hawks, Rams, Bears, and Niners above the Patriots because I think all four were better.
Yeah,
I don't care
but
if they're
they
in the
have.
fucking Super Bowl or not. They're not the best team.
Yeah, but that's how they have the conferences set up, right?
Yeah.
Man. So
My
that
number two would be the Rams, and then number one is the Seahawks.
right. And then at preseason, that was me and Kenny's number one and two, and I just want to finish with at preseason, as we stated before, number two with another giant drop, your Ravens. Baltimore was listed at number two, and they fell all the way to 2020. And coming in at number one and still staying in the top 10, it is your 2025 Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
Yep. And they are defending champs. Even they made it to the playoffs. They played good all year, but yeah. With that being said, before we wrap up the show and call it a night, we just wanted to, I don't know if you had a chance to think about it.
Oh
If you
shit.
were to, yeah,
Yeah.
if you were to pick, who would you have going from the top to the bottom, and who would you have going from the bottom to the top for next season?
So first of all, we agreed on 8 teams overall that like we dead on nailed. So that's pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my cutoff here. So bottom to top,
Hmm.
you want to say the Giants because it's such an
Yeah.
obvious thing, but I feel like the Giants could easily also just be like an 8 or 9 win team or even a 10 win team and still be okay. I don't know. I would say somewhere between the Giants or the Chiefs returning, one of those two.
Okay. I agree with you on the
And
Giants. I could see the Giants and
I'm going by
what?
my 10, so there's that. But in my in
Yeah.
a top team going down,
Yep. Houston.
I don't have them in the top 10, but that's a great pick. Uh
Buffalo.
I could see the Steelers struggling.
Oh yeah. I don't have them in top 10 though.
Right,
So
then that's where
I
we're
can't.
the Jags is another one that could easily go the other way.
Oh, definitely. And I just had them barely top 10. Yeah.
I would probably say Jags. looking at since the top 10 so solid. Otherwise, or the Broncos if that completely falls
Did,
apart.
did you have the Jaguars in top 10?
I had them at 10.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I had them at 9. Okay.
So I'll
Nice.
I'll say Jags going to the bottom again.
Yep.
And I'll say, I guess
I think we're
I'll
both
say
taking.
Giants with everybody else in the world. I think the Giants are going to have just middling and being okay with that. Giants or Chiefs, one or two.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Giants from bottom to top. And from top to bottom, sadly, I'd have to say Buffalo.
Maybe. You
Yeah.
know what? I feel like that's possible too. And I was going to say maybe that because I don't know what it is. Somebody mentioned it without trying to make a point of it. They just happened to mention it in passing and say, like, man, Josh Allen's never been hurt. And I'm like, boy, see, I could see that being a thing where they come into this year and like, okay, this is it. And then he just goes down with injury and misses the whole year or something crazy.
Ouch.
And like that's where they would end up being in the top 10, bottom 10. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to root for that or anything. I'm just saying I could see that being a thing. You can never predict injury or something like that, but that could be why. If Josh Allen's alive, I don't think they end up in the bottom 10.
And a new dad, so he's going to go into the season with new dad
Yeah,
energy.
that shouldn't matter. I don't
That
think they'll
new
be
dad
bottom
swag.
10 unless something really bad happens.
Yeah.
But I also feel like that's due almost in a bad way.
I could
He's
only
really
see
banged
it
up, man.
because their head coach retired, got fired.
Yeah. And to your credit,
Uh,
dude, I don't know. They had a little press conference about it and he was talking about being a dad and shit. He just beaming, dude. So yeah, I could see that, man. Maybe he is distracted.
well, the other thing that might become true is what you said. If they fail again, Josh is probably out of Buffalo, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. After that, then I would definitely put him. Maybe year after this, I might put him in the bottom 10.
Man, I still remember Ryan Fitzmagic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, those were the days.
The greatest
Yeah.
backup ever, probably.
Yeah.
The traveling
Uh,
backup that
well,
is.
well, Ken, hit him up with next week's stuff.
That was fun.
Your
All
prop
right.
show.
Woo, next week, I guess already we're doing a Super Bowl show. So I'm going to come up with 20 fun questions about the Super Bowl. Actually, 23 so far, I think I got. We got 20 main questions and we got a couple of bonus questions for bonus points. We'll do, the fun stuff, player props, over unders, coin tosses, first team to score, all that fun stuff. We're going to predict every single step of the way, not just predicting who wins. We're going to predict it all. So we're going to break down the Super Bowl in depth for you and what we think about what's going to happen. And then we'll end it with who we think is going to win. And we'll also guess what color Bad Bunny's dress is going to be. All kinds of fun stuff. All you got to do is join us next week when the pods are against us.